Now to take you further on the BRICS Summit, I'm joined by Maricruz Magowan. She worked for more than 3 decades on U.S. and Latin America economic policies. Now the Vice President of the National the Economists Club, I should say, and she's joining us. Thanks so much for coming in. Chinese President Xi said, let's go hand in hand to build a great BRICS partnership. This is a group that amounts for 1/5 of the world's economic output. But as you know, very diverse countries. So how do you take the words and make them into action?
They have been trying that since 2001, when they coined this term, the BRIC, and then they added BRICS, South Africa. But the thing is, they want to be an economic bloc. They want the desire to become bigger, and they did. It was only 8% of the economy, and now this group is 19% of the world's economy. So they did a good job, but I think they will not go farther. Why? They are not only separated by geography, they are separated by history, by politics, by culture, and for internal economies. In order for them to succeed in the way they are talking now, they will have to look inside each country and see if they have a rule of law, if they have good governance, if they are sustainable, if they have resilient economies. And you cannot say that about Brazil. You cannot say that about Russia, South Africa. India is doing well. But you really, if I would be them, I would not close myself to the BRICS. I will, on the other hand, open up to other economies.
Who should they reach out to?
Mexico, for example, Kenya is doing very well. Colombia is doing very well. There are other opportunities there, and they have to see what kind of economies are more compatible with their economies. That's what they have to see.
But having said that, they don't seem to have the kind of firecracker going off in their face like the Eurozone does at this point in time, which we'll get to that a little later.
Yes.
But let me ask you about the BRICS Development Bank. Is this a major development in your sense?
I said that a long time ago when they asked me that, and I said it's too soon for them. They are missing other opportunities. They have to be stronger to go into something like that, because otherwise they are going to go into some kind of dependency model there, China being the one putting on the money and the other countries depending on China, maybe India a little bit less. But even China's economy is slowing down. So it's not a good idea. It is too soon. They have to put their stories straight first. They have to see what's happening in Brazil. They have to try to solve their problems. Russia, they have to think again if their political decisions were a good idea. We know now that they were not a good idea. What's the impact on the oil prices that went down? What is going to happen with the scandals in Brazil? The economies are shrinking. South Africa, very high unemployment rate, 24% unemployment rate. So you cannot have all of these countries so different, trying to be together in a bloc and expect that just because they are together, they are going to do better. I think they did as best as they could already, but I don't think they can go farther unless they revisit what they did, they learn from their mistakes, and then they go forward.
They did, these are always kind of a mixture of economics and politics, and they did stake out a couple of political positions on Iran and Ukraine as well. BRICS calling for a normalization of trade and investment with Iran. Also said any deal should provide for the comprehensive lifting of sanctions imposed on Iran. They also issued a statement on Ukraine calling for full implementation of the Minsk agreement reached in February to end the fighting in eastern Ukraine. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it's easier to agree in certain, not all political terms. But what they need to agree is in other things that are more difficult. Like, for example, are they going to open their economies to foreign investment? Of course, they want that, but in order to do that, they have to ease the regulations, they have to lower their bureaucracy, they have to lower their corruption levels in their internal governments. Are they going to do that? Can they do that? That is the question. And then they can move on.
Well, we're going to leave it there. Thanks so much for coming in and joining us, Maricruz. Always a delight seeing you. Thanks so much.